Hey guys, so time to get working on the bikes again. I'm going to do some stuff on the Postie today, I hope. It's idling well, but first time I go to kick it and start it over, she's still not really starting exactly right away. Sometimes yes, sometimes no, so I'm going to check like the valve clearances and stuff like that, see what it is. It is stupidly hot today, so maybe it's just feeling tired like I am and not starting. So got a bit of a workshop going on here. We've got some scooters we're trying to get started as well. Probably not in the video, but if you are interested in us trying to get some scooters started, let me know and I will put them in videos. But yeah, Postie, let's get this thing going. So I'll just give you a bit of a demo. So keys are on, fuel is on and going in there. Kill switch, yeah, that's all good. I'm not being a total idiot. Turn that choke off. I don't know, just not happy, eh? That plug looks pretty good, but let's pull it out. I mean, we never know what the end is gonna look like on that plug, so it might be stuffed. Worth a look anyway. All right, let's figure this out. So let's have a look at this plug. And man, this is the toolkit from the Honda SL230. It has like everything you need to completely pull apart a bike. I wish the Postie actually came with the toolkit. It's fantastic. You can take off the wheels, adjust the chain, everything you need, and it's got a really good spark plug tool. Well, look at that, guys. That's a bit foul. That's gross as. That's wet. Fuel, I guess. I'm gonna try the air fuel mixture. Turn it in all the way, and then just back it off bit by bit. Try that. Wow, that's a big difference with that air fuel mixture.
So a little foolish of me to think the previous owner had this tuned correctly. So I'm going to get this up to a nice good operating temperature and properly tune this carburetor. So I'm upping the idle speed and then I'm going to adjust the air screw mixture. So I'm going to put it back into the stop point and then just bring it out until I hear that engine sitting in a nice happy place. Play around with it a bit, try and get it right. Can go online and find a specific number of turns, but every engine is different, so I like to do it this way.
I found an air screw idle combo that seems to be making for a happy idle, so I'm going to see if it makes for an easy start. It's the next bit. Well, easy start while it's hot, that's one thing. I'm gonna let it go and see if it continues to idle happily. Alright, been watching her. She's idling for a bit. Dropping down now though. Alright, it just stopped, but it ran out of fuel, so I'm not going to hold that against it. I think I'm going to check the points. After it cools down, check the valve clearance, and then probably attempt a chain tension adjustment. It's starting to get a bit dark now, so it might have to be a later on one. Alright, after yesterday's tuning and fiddling, engine's totally cold. Let's see if it's going to start first time. So, haven't started it yet today, it's just been sitting overnight. Fingers crossed.
put any choke on or anything. That's good news, guys. I'm going to continue to do a cam chain adjustment, and when the engine's cold again, I'm also going to look at the valves and check their clearances, and then it's moving on to electrics. Then I think I can start stripping this thing down. Exciting business. So to adjust the cam chain, you've got a little locking nut you can undo here, and then you just get your screwdriver into this little screwy bit and loosen it off, and that's the automatic adjustment. If this doesn't make any noises you don't like go away, time to do the serious cam chain adjustment. I'm going to undo this bolt on the bottom of the engine here. You know if you've got the wrong bolt, because oil will start pouring out everywhere. Luckily this is the right bolt. Now in here's another little screw bit. So you just got to tighten that on to tighten the chain. Now tighten this actually slowed the engine down, so my chain must already be nice and tight. Well, loosened it off just to get a feel for what a loose chain sounds like, and then tighten it back up to that sweet spot where everything sounds nice and happy. And don't forget to tighten up the original bolt, put everything back together. And I'm being threatened with some storm clouds out here, so I've moved under shelter, and while the engine cools before I check the valves, I'm doing some electrics. Just went around and checked the lights and the horns and made sure I had all the little bits I need, and put together a little shopping list of things I needed to get. Alright, and behind the battery housing, we've got one of these, which is good, don't know what it is, but we got one. And, this might be my two mystery wires. That, to me, looks like where something like this should go, which I luckily have, 6-volt flasher unit. So I'm going to confirm that and swap that one in there, and then at least we're a little bit closer to having some indicators. Pretty glad I moved inside. It is coming down out there. Also pulled apart the headlight unit, need to replace some bulbs in there, and wanted to get to the dash unit so I could give that a good old clean. Also had a good look at the points and made sure they looked like how they should do, which is specified in the manual. And they were all good, which is good. Alright, time to do the valves. Turns out an Australian 50-cent coin and a pair of vice grips is an excellent tool for getting off that shaft cover. So just put that in there nice and firm, give it a twist, off she comes. Next, undo the little viewing portal. Alright, now pop your socket in there and rotate it around until your timing marks line up. I'm going to take off the valve covers. If you're aligned on the T mark, not the T, but the mark, on the right stroke, both your intake and exhaust, can't hear the exhaust, but they've both got some wobble in the arm there, which is good. So now ready to go ahead and check the clearance. According to the manual, we've got 0.05 millimeters or 0.002 inches. So I'm using millimeters, and plus or minus 0.02 apparently is still all good. So 0.05, 0.06. Oh, that's sort of nice. You want this snugness. 0.07. There we go. It's fitting as well. So that's too wide. I'm going to need to tighten that down. 9mm. Loosen that lock nut. Take my 0.05. Put it underneath. Use my thumb to tighten down this middle bit. It's a bit too tight. I want it to still wriggle a little bit. Well, at least be able to move the shim around. That feels a bit better. Just fiddle around with it. Take your time until you get it right. Tighten this lock nut, but we don't want to move the middle bit. So just doing what it should. Now just check that valve again, make sure it's right. Sometimes it even pays to seal it all up, turn the engine over and check it again if you want to be really precise, which I think I will do. But first, check it and do the exhaust valve underneath. So I'm gonna
get putting that back together and start her up, see if she goes.
Awesome, one step closer to looking like a brand new postie. Stay tuned next week for some GS500 upgrades.